guys, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I thought I'd have another play with the Revolution Forever Flawless Ice Palette. I'm kind of obsessed with it at the moment, and I feel like everyone else is on Instagram. I keep seeing people play with it. To make things a bit different, I thought I'd have a play today with the nude shades. I know that's not why people are getting this palette, but I wanted to see how versatile it was and see if we could get any other looks out of it. I've got a couple of other new bits from Revolution that I want to try for this look. I think I'm practically at a full face of Makeup Revolution at this point, so do let me know in the comments if that's something you'd like to see in the future. I'm not missing a lot of products, but I'm thinking something inspired by that Kim Kardashian wet look halo eye that she had, was it the Met Gala? If you want to see my thoughts on the palette, I will have my review linked up here in the cards, so do check that out if you want to. And let's just jump straight into this look and see what we can come up with. Okay guys, so for this look I really want plump, glowy skin. So to start off with, I'm going to go in with a little bit of skincare. I've just given my skin a quick clean with my Simply Pure toner from Superdrug, and my first step to really plump skin is the Hyaluronic Acid 2% plus B5 from The Ordinary, and whenever I use this I just find that my skin feels super plump. And just to lock in that moisture, I'm going to take my Revolution Skincare, the Hydration Boost. This is just my favourite moisturiser at the moment. It just leaves my skin feeling really lovely and moisturised, and it absorbs really quickly. Onto the eyes now, and as always I'm going to prime them with the PLouise Base, but today I don't want the eye area to be lighter than the rest of my skin. I want it to blend in really nicely, so I'm just going to mix in 2 shades. I'm going to take my usual 0.5 and I'm going to add in some of shade number 2. And just taking that underneath the eye as well. Okay, now that my eyes are primed, I'm going to jump into my first shade. I'm going to take Frostbite from the palette, and I'm just going to use that all over my brow bone. Just because there's not a lot of variety in the shades and I just want to give everything a bit more depth, I'm just going to jump into my Barium Kohl pencil. This is number 2, and I'm just going to outline my eyes pretty roughly. Then I'm going to jump into my Morphe M138 and just blend that out. Next I'm going to go back into the palette, and this time I'm going to go for Climate on my Zoeva 231. And I'm going to place this on the inner and outer corners of the eye. So I'm taking them up above my crease and blending it out into the first shade. And I'm just going to take that on my lower lash line as well and just applying it to the inner and outer corner. I'm also just going to take a clean blending brush. This is the Morphe M330, and just make sure that that's all blended out at the top. Moving on to a new product that I'm going to try today for the first time. This is the Revolution Eye Glisten in the shade It's Fate. I'm going to be taking the foiled side today and applying that to the centre of my eye where I haven't applied any eyeshadow. I'm just going to take a flat shadow brush just to blend that out. It does seem to dry down pretty quickly, so I'm just going to add some more. Has a gorgeous wet look about it that I'm really loving. It almost reminds me of the iconic London Illuminator, but if it was for the eyes, if that made sense. I really like the way it looks. I'm just going to jump back into a tiny bit of Climate just to blend those edges out a little bit more. It's making a pretty good first impression on me, very buildable. The texture doesn't seem to have gone funny or anything. I'm also going to take it on my under eye, and this time I'm just going to take it directly on a brush and just blend it in underneath. I do just want to intensify that a little bit more, but I don't want to use the glitter that's on the other side of this. I just think it's a little bit too dark and would have preferred something a bit more rose gold. So instead I'm going to try Icy on top of it, just with a flat Urban Decay brush. Just going to try spraying my brush as well with the L'Oreal Shake and Glow just to see if that helps. I'm not sure how much this likes having eyeshadow on top of it. It looks like it might have gone a little bit flaky, and I don't know how much that shadow is added in terms of it being very reflective. Just to give the look a little bit more intensity, I'm going to jump back into that Kohl pencil from Barry M and just line my waterline. I've just added a quick coat of mascara, and for my lashes, as always, I'm just going to go in with my Kiss Midnight Lashes. Moving back to my skin next, I'm going to jump into my Revolution Conceal and Hydrate. This is the shade F2. My review will be linked up in the cards in case you do want to watch it. And I'm going to be applying it with this Velvet Fuzzy Blender by Sunday Ivy. Feel Unique sent this over maybe last month, and I just haven't had the time to get around to trying it. It's one of those, well, velvety, fuzzy sponges, as the name indicates. And the idea behind it is that it should actually absorb less of your foundation and therefore waste less product. I have wet it. It does feel a little bit moist, but it hasn't really expanded. So I'm guessing if it doesn't absorb a lot of product, it probably doesn't absorb a lot of water either. So I'm just going to apply that to the end of the sponge. We'll see how it goes. It's quite hard. I feel like I am punching myself in the face with a rock just a little bit. I do think the finish looks lovely applied with this. I smell soy sauce. That's really weird. Yeah, do let me know in the comments if you're interested in finding out more about this sponge. Maybe you'd like me to do a comparison to my Real Techniques one, because I'm not convinced that this is absorbing less product than that, and it just feels a bit tough on the face. My thumb actually hurts from holding it because it's just so much harder to hold than a normal sponge. I don't know how I feel about that. I'm just going to do a little bit of spot concealing, so for that I'm going to jump into my Too Faced Born This Way concealer, and mine is in the shade Snow. This is the most aggressive sponge ever. And I added a good bit of water. What did I ever do to this sponge? If I had any faith in this foundation staying on all day, it would be my new favourite, because look at that coverage. I'm feeling filtered to within an inch of my life. For my under eyes, I'm going to take my Conceal and Hydrate concealer in the shade C0.2. Then I'm just going to take my Morphe M330 again and just ensure that I'm blending my eyeshadow out into my concealer. I'm going to set my face with my MAC Mineralize Skin Finish in the shade Light Plus. And I'm going to give everything a quick spray of L'Oreal Shake and Glow to melt it all in together. I'm going to go for a lighter brow that's not going to overpower the eyes, so I'm going to take my MUA Brow Define Micro Precision Eyebrow Pencil in the shade Fair. And just setting that in place with the Max Factor Natural Brow Styler. I'm just going to go back into the eye glisten and just add a little bit of that into my inner corner. Back onto the face now, and this isn't a brand new product for me, but it is a recent purchase and I haven't spoken about it on my channel just yet. This is the Fenty Beauty Sun Stalk'r bronzer. I got mine in the lightest shade, which is Inda Sun. It does feel quite cool tone, so on me I feel like it's a hybrid between a bronzer and a contour rather than just a bronzer, so I quite like it just to do a bit of both in one product. It's also the perfect shade for nose contour for me, which is brilliant. For my blush, I'm going to go more peachy, so I'm going to go with one of my favourites. It's the Milani Baked Powder Blush in the shade Luminoso. I do have a brand new highlighter to try as well. This is the Revolution Highlighter Reloaded in Raise the Bar. So this was posted by an account called I Have Makeup Needs on Instagram, and I'll link them down below. And they said that this was a dupe for Amrezy by Anastasia Beverly Hills, which I've been wanting for ages but just haven't been able to justify. So I'm pretty excited about this one today. It's a little bit too golden for me. It would look really nice with a tan. I think I could probably pull it off at that point. It does make me quite glad I never bought Amrezy, because that would have been a bit of a waste of money for me. I think it was about £30 and I just wouldn't be able to wear it. Just because it is so dark, I'm not going to use it on my nose and my lips, but instead I'm going to jump back into Icy, and that should be quite nice. Let me just spray my brush again. Hoping it would be a little bit more intense. The shimmers in this palette really just aren't impressing me all that much. Just gonna give myself another spray of the L'Oreal Shake and Glow. Just because the eyes are quite muted, I think I'm actually gonna go for a red lip. I'm gonna be using the Revolution Pro New Neutral Lipstick in the shade Stiletto, which has gotta be one of my favorite red lipsticks. Alright guys, that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you liked this attempt at a more neutral look using the Forever Flawless Ice palette. I think it's safe to say that this palette isn't that versatile. You're not going to get a lot done with the more neutral shades unless you're as pale as I am, or even paler. This barely shows up on my skin. I did really like the eye glisten though. I'm going to be using that again. I just wish the glitter that came with it was lighter. This is quite dark in comparison, and this is a nice rose gold, so I feel like a rose gold glitter would have been a bit nicer. I could have used it on this eye look, but yeah, I'm definitely going to get some more use out of this one. So guys, remember, if you enjoyed this video, do please give it a big thumbs up and leave me a comment to let me know what you thought of it. And of course, hit the subscribe button so that you don't miss out on the next video. And I'll see you all on the next one. Bye guys!